I watched 6 college quarterbacks this weekend in college football. De'Aaron King at Miami. We saw Trevor Lawrence at Clemson. Saw Sam Howell at UNC. Brock Purdy at Iowa State. Ian Book, the quarterback at Notre Dame. We'll talk about him. And then Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma. What I want to do is go down the list and review how they did. We'll call it College Football Week 2 because there was college football last weekend as well. So I want to start with number 1, De'Aaron King at Miami. Look, I love this dude. He's a great leader. He runs very, very well. He had this run where he ran up the middle. He's so quick. De'Aaron King, I love watching the guy play all around. Now, he had this crazy play on a third, and I think it was 3rd and 9, where he did a spin move in the backfield. He made a man miss, and he turned a play that should have been a sack into a really big gain and a first down. And I look at what De'Aaron King can do physically, and I just see that some NFL coach is going to fall in love with De'Aaron King and go, I love his leadership. I love his ability to run. He's not a first round draft pick. But some coach is going to look at De'Aaron King and go, I can work with this guy. He's a great leader. He runs well. Now, the one thing I want to see from De'Aaron King get better is De'Aaron King needs to be better at throwing the ball along the sideline and along the perimeter. His deep ball, especially, again, down along the sideline, needs work. There were moments on Thursday night when they played UAB where he had guys open down the sideline and he wasn't able to complete it. He just missed it multiple times, and I went, oh, dang. And it's possible. Look, De'Aaron King has a lot of room to improve, and that's a thing he can definitely get better at. His decision-making is pretty good. He runs really well. He's a good leader. I want to see De'Aaron King get better down the sidelines because against UAB, he got away with it. They're playing Alabama Birmingham. But against a better team, that's going to cost him, and it's going to help. It's really push him down the rankings as an NFL quarterback. He's very capable. He does a lot of good stuff. He's not making a lot of checks at line of scrimmage. He's looking at Rhett Lashley to do all that stuff. He looks at the sideline a ton. Rhett Lashley gives him the call. They make checks that way at the line of scrimmage. So there's not a lot on his plate, I don't think, from De'Aaron King. But again, he's also in his first year. Maybe if he'd been at Miami for 4 years, we'd see something different. But I got to see De'Aaron King be better down the sidelines, along the perimeter, moving forward this year. And number 2, Trevor Lawrence at Clemson. Look, he's had a great day against Wake Forest. Trevor Lawrence, he just makes the game look so easy. He was 22 for 28 passing, had 351 yards, 1 touchdown passing, 2 touchdowns rushing on the goal line. He had his own read twice and the defense, I don't blame them, had to focus on Travis Etienne, and Trevor Lawrence got 2 easy touchdowns rushing that way. His very first pass was a long corner route, and I went, that's incredible. And then from then, it was just all game, he just was annihilating Wake Forest. I felt bad for them. Now, Clemson also has really good play design. This play I loved where they faked a toss, like a pitch to the running back. They even had the left guard pull from left to right. And that flowed the linebackers across the field towards that fake pitch, leaving the middle of the field wide open for an easy pass by Trevor Lawrence. And I look at what Clemson is doing. They've got great schematics. Trevor Lawrence physically is unbelievable. He's already expected to be the number 1 overall pick. I don't see that changing at all this year as I look at the schedule ahead for Clemson. Until they maybe play a potential college football playoff game, I don't know who's going to challenge Trevor Lawrence. Maybe Notre Dame. Maybe I'll watch that game, but I doubt it. But I don't see Trevor Lawrence doing anything other than getting drafted number 1 overall in the NFL draft. He's really, really good, and he's going to have a really good year and a favorable schedule ahead of him. Now, number 3, Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma. He played Missouri State. That's a team that he dominated pretty easily, as he should. But somehow, and I don't really understand how, Spencer Rattler was even better than I expected him to be. He is so gifted as a passer. I mean, the dude just effortlessly throws the ball. He had a play where he's rolling left. He flipped his feet, threw the ball down, I believe, kind of short of the pylon to like the 3-yard line to a receiver coming back near the end zone. And I went, that's just an unbelievable throw. And the way that Spencer Rattler effortlessly throws the ball everywhere, all over the field, it's just so easy for him. It's like you're throwing a Nerf football. Spencer Rattler, he's definitely got a better arm than Baker Mayfield. He might have a better arm than Kyler Murray. He is going to annihilate and shred college football. Keep your eye on him. He's going to have a huge year. And I know he only played Missouri State. It's the only reason I watched was to watch Spencer Rattler. But somehow he was even better. He was even better than I expected. Spencer Rattler's going to be unbelievable in college football. Number 4, Sam Howell at UNC was solid. His team played Syracuse. They won 31-6. Sam Howell was 25 for 34 passing, 295 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. One of them was not his fault. The other one was. He had a play where deep safety Andre Sisco, a guy who might be an NFL safety for Syracuse, read his eyes and stole a post for an interception. And it was a good learning moment for Sam Howell where he's got to be more disciplined with his eyes and where he's leading defenders downfield. Otherwise, he had a great day. Sam Howell lost 10 pounds of bad weight this offseason. He's running really, really well. He looks faster and just more athletic running the ball. He's a true sophomore. And I got to say that Sam Howell, from a mental development standpoint, the things he's doing in UNC's offense, that's North Carolina's offense, he's ahead of everybody else his age. Sam Howell is a future first-round pick in the NFL draft. He's doing awesome stuff. I really like everything he's doing. And I'm excited to keep watching Sam Howell get better and better and better throughout college football. Now, number 5, I watched Ian Book at Notre Dame. Every time I watch Ian Book, he just confirms how average he is. That's harsh. That's mean. I don't mean to. He's a really good, very good college quarterback. I think that's it, though. He's a fine college quarterback. Great job. Ian Book, a longtime starter at Notre Dame. Great career. I don't see him doing much in the NFL or after college. He's very unremarkable physically. He's an average decision maker. And I think I'm going to stop watching Ian Book, honestly. I nothing against the guy. Seems like a nice human being. Nothing against him as a person. No one perceives this as an attack on Ian Book. But my time is very limited, and I only got so many games I'm going to watch every single weekend. I'm going to remove Ian Book from my watch list of quarterbacks to pay attention to. There's nothing outstanding, remarkable, or impressive about him other than he started for a long time at Notre Dame. And I like him, but just because you're a good, solid starting quarterback in college football does not mean you're an NFL quarterback. He had a really bad interception in the red zone where he doesn't typically do that, but he had a bad overthrow in the red zone. He had 1 touchdown pass, but it was a 50-50 ball where his receiver kind of made him look really good. I am continually not impressed by Ian Book, and he's a fine college quarterback. That's about it. I'm not really going to keep watching Ian Book. It's not really worth my time. No offense. It's just the reality of it. Number 6, we have Iowa State quarterback Brock Purdy next on the list. Oh, he was really bad. And I like Brock. Brock Purdy's been a guy, ever since I watched him play in the Alamo Bowl against Washington State a couple years ago, he's been on my list of guys to pay attention to. And his team was upset. They lost to Louisiana. Part of that was because Louisiana had 2 really big kick return touchdowns, one punt, one what is it called, a kickoff return. But I saw a big red flag from Brock Purdy that is something that, as an NFL evaluator, you look at him and go, that's a huge problem. It can't happen. Brock Purdy could not beat Louisiana's man coverage with his arm. He simply was not accurate enough, and he had a lot of accuracy issues all day. Louisiana shut him down with their man coverage. Brock Purdy was not accurate enough to beat Louisiana's man coverage. We're not talking LSU. We're not talking Alabama or even Oklahoma. We're talking the University of Louisiana in Lafayette. I mean, the Ragin' Cajuns cannot lock down your potential NFL quarterback. And so maybe it's just a bad game, but from an NFL standpoint, that's a huge red flag about Brock Purdy. The fact that he could not beat man coverage on Sunday against Louisiana. Again, not LSU. We're talking the University of Louisiana, the Ragin' Cajuns. Guys, that's a big, big red flag. I'm going to keep watching Brock Purdy. I'm not ready to just erase him from the list. But as an NFL evaluator, I mean, that was a big, big problem on Saturday. The fact that he got shut down by man coverage against Louisiana.